Welcome to the Founder Fumbles podcast, where we go deep into real entrepreneur struggles and comeback strategies. I'm your host, Dahmari, and today we have a very special person, Zaneta Kelsey.
Hello.
So let me tell everyone, just so you have to know a lot about this person. She is very special and important to me, so I'm very happy to have her today. So Zaneta is the founder and CEO of Access Mode. She's recognized as one of the top 25 most powerful women in business in Colorado by the Colorado Women's Chambers of Commerce. She's a Techstars Alumni, First Lady of the Embassy Christian Bible Church. She's completed the Colorado Governor Fellowship, and now she's cultivating venture-ready tech companies founded by BIPOC entrepreneurs, one accelerator at a time. We good?
I'm listening to you and thinking, wow, that's a lot.
It's a lot of stuff, ain't it?
And then I'm thinking, oh, well, we didn't talk about this and we didn't talk about that, and there's some other things, but
What else? What else about yourself that you want to say?
Wow, there's so much. Well, I am wife to Derek Kelsey.
There we go.
We just celebrated 22 years of marriage.
22 years? That's
22 years of marriage, which is a blessing. He's amazing, and that's how we even came to Colorado, for an opportunity for him that has been a blessing to me. I have two boys, or two young men.
Okay.
My oldest is 19, and he's going to a college here in Colorado, and my youngest is finishing up his senior year, or about to start his senior year of college, high school. So I'm about to be an empty nester, which is pretty insane.
Yeah.
I'm so young. So those are the two highlights of my life that I focus on beyond my faith. And I'm happy to be here with you. You're one of my little special people too.
Thank you.
A part of our Access Mode Cohort 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you were crushing it and still are. So I'm so proud of you and happy to support you and be here to chat, to talk soup.
I really appreciate it.
Of course.
So tell everybody about Access Mode, how the idea came about. What made you get into that?
Yeah.
How did you start?
I had taken a pivot. In my professional career, I had left the company I was working for here in Colorado. At the time, it was the largest company headquartered in Colorado, and I had more of a global focus. I had a few teams around the world that I was responsible for, and I decided that it was time for me to think about some other things, and one thing led to another, and I found myself kind of looking up and gardening in my backyard one summer after I had left the company, and thinking of really what did I want to do next. And while I enjoyed the downtime, it gave me an opportunity to say, hey, I have done a lot already in business. At that time, I had been a professional for, I think, about 23 years, and I have started my career as a software developer for IBM. So I started my career in tech. It's what I knew. For a consulting company, got great consulting experience, and transitioned then to an industry, the eyeglass industry, and worked for a company headquartered in France, but the U.S. headquarters was in Dallas, Texas, and got some additional skill set and moved into e-business. That was the new thing at the time. How do you do digital transformation? And so I was kind of on the forefront with them with that. Then I moved to Colorado and did my own thing for a little bit while my babies were quite young, and built websites and did a little bit of marketing and consulting. Then I started working for a startup here in Denver. And while working for them is when the large company that I worked for heard about me, and we kind of, I went on that journey for a little while. And so I kind of looked up and was like, I've had tremendous experience globally, on a small scale with a startup, across the gambit. And one of the things that I recognized was there wasn't representation. I did not see a lot of people who had opportunity to do some of the things that I was doing. I didn't see a lot of people who were women. I did not see a lot of people who were people of color. And that was always kind of a gap that I was looking for. There were a lot of customers that I engaged at the last company I was with, and it was a large tech company, but the customers I was engaging, there wasn't representation even at the customer side. And so I always kind of wondered and thought, well, what is happening that people of color and women are not represented in the tech industry in the areas that I'm in? I'm talking the largest companies to the medium sized, the small ones that I was engaging. And so that was just always something in the back of my mind. Well, the pandemic happened. And during that time, I started volunteering with an organization called Energize Colorado, which was effectively spun up in Colorado to help facilitate PPP funding from the federal government to small businesses in our state. And the segment of business that I was primarily focused on was people of color here in Colorado. And by far and large, that segment just was not doing well during the pandemic. I mean, you had people who were sick, people who were dying, people who weren't able to get PPP money because they didn't have their books that were ready to allow them to apply for loans. And so there was a lot of hardship. And that's where I met my co-founder, who you know, Kevin Allen, and we kind of put our heads together and said, first the question was, what's really going on here? But also, what more can we do?
Right.
We've both been given much. And so how do we leverage the tools and experiences, connections, and network that God has given us to be a blessing to other people? And so we looked at various different types of models. Do we do something that helps like all businesses? Do we start in a specific segment? And for certain, Kevin and I had tech in common. So we started a tech-based accelerator. We looked at boot camps, weekend warrior kind of things, accelerators, incubators. We talked to different programs that already existed around the U.S. and felt like what really was needed in Colorado for the type of founder like Kevin, who had come to Colorado from another state, was an accelerator that was going to help with both access to funding, a level of education, and mentorship and guidance and connection. So that's what we built. And so Access Mode, we say, is kind of an entity that cultivates the entrepreneurial journey of those who have historically not had that opportunity. And that's what we do.
No, that was Access Mode's everything and more that I needed. Like, no, seriously, like not even just the funding, you know, the mentorship, the education, you know, and the community is the biggest thing, because most of the people in this podcast came from Access Mode, and they have reached a certain level in their business just because of the program. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's why we do it. That's why we did it. And, you know, my perspective was I had a small little consulting kind of gig type business that I was running, and it was solopreneurship, services based. It had nothing to do with building a product. It had nothing to do, you know, I was kind of just gingerly doing it, and I was having success for myself. And it kept me at a level of where I was prior to leaving the last company I was with. But before I decided to do Access Mode, I wasn't in the small business entrepreneurial space for real. And so it was a foray and an education for me to really take Kevin, my co-founder, kind of as the persona that we needed to leverage to build Access Mode, right? So Kevin was, you know, he had been had some level of education, well, a lot of education actually. He's impressive. Had built a tech-based business and just needed some additional supports around him. So leveraging him as a persona, then looking at some other types of people like, well, what if the person doesn't have any technical background? What if they don't have any education? Are they still worthy of their idea to bring to business? Are they still worthy to get that opportunity? And the answer is yes. Like, everybody else was getting gets those opportunities.
Right.
And I see people growing businesses that didn't go to college, that, have family members or have connections that enable them to take some time out to unleash their dream or their desired goal or their solution to the marketplace. And I thought everybody should have that opportunity. Now, everybody is not meant to be an entrepreneur.
Exactly.
It takes some special traits, right? But what I wanted to do was make sure that access, right? That's access mode. That's where the name came from.
Got you. They have access to all the tools that they need.
That's it.
Wow, that's beautiful.
It, yeah.
So I have a big question. How do you choose the people to be in your cohort? How did you choose me?
Yeah.
And like how do for the people listening that's interested in being a next cohort or a future one, how do you choose those people?
Yeah. So I'll start with just basics. We have a framework, a rubric that we use. I'll never publish what that rubric is, but we have a rubric that we use. We started it with cohort one. Cohort one. So, we are in the tech innovation space, right? So when we built Access Mode, it was our test model. The same way we tell you guys, like, build your MVP before you build the full product. Like, get customers to engage and interact, give you feedback. Then you know what to pivot and change. Same way that we built Access Mode. We said we're going to take 5 founders here in Colorado. We're going to send them through what we believe is our model. And in general, our model hasn't changed in general. But of course, there are some things that you kind of round out and smooth and kind of do a couple of those things. So I would say the rubric that we used from the beginning only has changed ever so slightly. But truly, the thing that we look for is who's going to be resilient. And so when I just mentioned everybody isn't meant to be an entrepreneur, there are people that have great ideas, but some of those ideas are meant to more be like a hobby or meant for somebody to take that idea to a company that already exists in that space and help them take it further because they don't have the desire or the fortitude to continue going. Because as you know, in entrepreneurship, you're going to receive a multitude more of no than you are of yes. But it only takes one yes to skyrocket you forward. And so if you don't have the makeup, and everybody's made differently. Everybody has value for what they're supposed to. Everybody has purpose for what they are supposed to do. Some people are meant to be teachers. Some people are meant to be entrepreneurs. Some people are meant to be stay-at-home moms. Some people are meant to various different things. Do what you're supposed to do. So that's why we really talk about what is your why, and we stay on that. I don't know if you remember very early on in the programming, we spent a whole day talking about your why, and we sent you guys like really figure this out, write it down. What is your why, and what is your personal why? But also, what is your business why? What is the reason why your business exists? And so we take our time and walk people through that so they can understand like how important it is because, you're going to get doors closed constantly. You're going to hit the wall multiple times. And so if that's the case, we need to make sure that we have people who are built for it. And so you're definitely built for it.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you. So you are one of the top 25 business women in Colorado. How does it feel to be, in that position,
That's a great question. And I've actually been wrestling with that since that was announced. I absolutely believe in celebrating people and giving people their flowers. I do. I wrestle with getting mine. I wrestle with any spotlight or limelight on me. I like to say I like to play the background. And my husband's like, but finish the rest of that sentence. It's like, I like to play in the background from where I can actually control things. So what that means is I don't necessarily require the flowers or the acknowledgement of what I'm doing. My why comes from above. And so if God is pleased with what I'm doing, then I know I'm doing the right thing. I do appreciate the thank yous. Don't get me wrong. But I'm wrestling with the public display of appreciation for what I've done.
Yeah.
It has been a sacrifice, and it's hard. There are days like even today. Today was a hard day where I wake up and things are on fire, and you got to figure out how to put out the fire and still continue to be responsible for what you said you were going to do. And those things are important. And I don't find that there are enough people who know how to problem solve and make decisions. And so even more so as I continue to build out access mode for founders in particular, I mean, I want all people to know how to problem solve and make decisions. But that's going to become even more critical to the programming that we have at Access Mode. People are using AI more, which is fantastic. I think that's one way to figure out how to problem solve when you get stuck. You have this amazing tool that can give you some options to at least think about. Maybe they won't be the exact right options, but it can prompt you. As you prompt it can prompt you back to think about some things. But going back to this most powerful woman award, or top 25 most powerful women in business. I went to the last Tuesday, we had a reception, and the new class of 25 women were inaugurated amongst the other classes of 25 women. And that was powerful for me to see women supporting women, congratulating each other, encouraging one another on, building a stronger network. And I will say that is one of the gifts that I do have is the ability to make strong connections, to see opportunities and seize on those opportunities, not on my behalf, but for the benefit of other people. And I tell my founders, I tell all of you, hey, if you need a connection to someone, I'm happy to make that. Now, there are times when people burn those connections. And like, I can't do that for you anymore. That wasn't a good idea. But in general, one of my superpowers is making those connections. And it was just really cool to be in a space where women were connected. And half the room I already knew. And so that was really special to me, to be in a room of women who just inspire one another. But the award itself, I told Simone Ross, who runs the Colorado Women's Chamber, I was like, oh my gosh, the spotlight on me next Thursday. Kind of feeling. But if this is the elevation point that God is leading me to, then I'll receive it for now.
So Maurice Dukes, who is this person? Was he in like cohort 1?
No, he wasn't a part of our cohort.
Maurice, he wasn't?
No, but he was a founder that we talked to early on about some of his needs when we were doing our market research. And that's why I tell everyone, market research is so important.
It is.
You got to get out and talk to customer research. You got to get out and talk to people. If you are solving a problem, you want to make sure you're solving it for more than one person. You got to make sure it's something that a majority and a mass will find beneficial and helpful. And if you're solving it only for yourself, that's not even called a hobby. That's just called making your life a little bit better. And so, so I would say Maurice, great guy. But yeah, he was one of the folks that we talked to early on. And we did that. We spoke to entrepreneurs here in Colorado, asked them, what are some of the challenges you're facing? What would be a solution to that? Would more mentorship help? And that was, interestingly enough, when we talked to potential funders of what we were going to do, because we're a nonprofit, their response was, well, aren't there already accelerators in Colorado? Isn't this accelerator here? Isn't that accelerator already here? And I said, yeah, but none of the founders have been able to get into the accelerator. Their other question was, well, Do they just need more mentorship? And no. The answer is no. Like, or I should say yes and.
Yes, and you
Yes,
need a lot.
and right,
And
the resources, not just more education, not just more mentorship, but actual funding, seed funding to help them be able to, at the time before these, vibe coding and all of this existed,
Right.
actually pay a developer to help some of these non-technical founders get a prototype out in the market so people can engage with it. So that was important to us as well.
Right. What would you say your biggest challenge is, being the CEO of Access Mode?
There are multiple. And I'm not afraid to say that because I'm still learning. I'm a lifelong learner.
Yeah.
Prior to this, I'd never run a nonprofit. I don't even, I volunteered with nonprofits before. I sit on nonprofit boards. I still sit on nonprofit boards. But until and unless you start a nonprofit business, you are not an expert on nonprofit businesses.
Right.
And my goal is to become an expert on nonprofit businesses. So from a nonprofit, from a challenge perspective with Access Mode, I'll say the biggest challenge I have, and I know this may sound a little bit ethereal, but there are more people that need help than I have the ability to help. That facts. There's more work to do than is possible for my individual capacity or the capacity of my current organization. So the need is great. And the resources, now that we're in this current economic climate, this current administrative climate, make it more challenging than ever before. Funding from the year we started to this year is
getting harder and harder.
Significantly down. We were not even able to put a full cohort together because we couldn't raise all of the money this year to do that. And that's a challenge. But we do have amazing supporters. We have incredible supporters here in Colorado that are based in Colorado, and those that are are national organizations that have a local regional office here that have been supportive of us. And so we've just been grateful for any of the support that we have. But it is a challenge for the amount of need versus the amount of capacity and resource. And so that's something that I feel like I have done well to beat the drum, to let as many people know as possible if they're in a position of funding, whether they're someone in a corporation that has that's a part of the foundation of that corporation and controls the nonprofit money that goes out, or if it's a high net worth individual that wants to be supportive, then there are opportunities to do that for Access Mode. And so we went through Techstars. Access Mode did, as one of the nonprofits that went through Techstars. And one of the things I remember, one of the mentors I had said to me very early on, he was like, "You have got to not talk about it like it's a right for people to get help to build to build their businesses." I was like, "What, really?" And he said, "No, if you're talking to a high net worth individual that you want to support Access Mode, you have to talk about it from the economic value and benefit that it will be." And I do think he was right. And so I changed my entire pitch for Demo Day based on his feedback. And I've come to learn it's important to talk about both because we're talking about humans like you. And you're not just economic value. You are, but you're not just that.
Right.
You're somebody who was given a great idea to bring founders together to help find co-founders. And that's a great business idea. And it's a great business idea for people who are building businesses to find the resources that they need. That's why all of these SBDC exists, and the SBA, and and SCORE, and things at the state level and things at the local level. All of these resources exist, but you're saying, "Hey, I'm bringing these resources together to help founders grow and scale." So that's important too.
Right. So I'm going to go back just a little bit. But how did you and Kevin make that connection and decide to be partners?
Yeah, back at Energize Colorado, he was asked to serve on the I didn't know Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
He was asked to serve for the BIPOC segment of businesses at Energize Colorado. I was asked to serve. We got on a call one day, and it was like a family reunion. Kevin and I are from the same place. We're from the DMV.
Okay.
He grew up in Montgomery County. I grew up in PG County, and it was like talking to my cousin. I honestly think, I mean, if we were to do DNA, he and I are related. Like, I'm positive of it. But it was kind of one of those things because growing up in the DC metro area, mm-hmm. which is kind of the mecca, right, for especially for Black entrepreneurship and
is it really?
It is, yeah. PG County has the largest amount of Black wealth in the U.S. historically. Wow. And so I don't know if that number is true today, but recently and historically it had been. Mm-hmm. So growing up in that area was really, really special. You saw representation of people who looked like yourself becoming doctors and being lawyers and being making decisions and being people in positions of power and owning their own businesses and doing really well, which gave us the visibility to say, hey, this is something we can do too. And not only can we do it, we have a whole host of people who are cheering us on, who've gone before us and who've done things and who have made connections and can tell us some of the things that they learned and some of the things that worked and some of the things that didn't. So yeah, that's how we met. And we decided like, hey, we have kind of the Venn diagram, like, Kevin is incredibly smart and, he has a legal background. He has a financial background. Me, on the other hand, I have kind of the strategy. I have the marketing, the brand experience. Right. And so it's kind of, left hand, right hand, and the strength, like it kind of brought together to make it really, really strong for us to be able to support each other building a business.
Yeah, because I was going to ask, like, what kind of, you seem like a woman of many skills. I was going to ask, like, what type of skills do you think you could improve on, or do you lack? But I'm assuming that he was like the perfect piece. Like you say, you're the right hand, he's the left hand, or vice versa. Yeah. So he fills up all those missing spaces, right? Yeah,
so like I say, he has a law degree. I hate, one of the bane of my existence is reading legal briefs. Or reading legalese. Hate it.
Well, we got AI for that now.
We have AI for that.
Now we do.
But I mean, you still have to cover, because you want to know hallucination on the main part of the contract. Yeah. Kevin also, like I said, has a finance background. Historically, that is an area where he will whip up a spreadsheet in a hot second, and I've had to grow that skill set.
I'm still growing that skill set.
Yeah, and the thing about most founders is most founders don't have the finance background, and so he had that finance background. Now, coming up with a name, access mode, coming up with the logo, figuring out like kind of who are strategically who are the people that we're going to engage to grow access mode, all of those things, that's my strength area. Encouraging people, being a coach, now Kevin is a coach. Yeah. But it's the difference between having kind of the hardcore football coach that's going to make you do your suicides when it's still 110 degrees outside, versus the coach that's going to sit down with you and really understand what your problem is and what's hurting your body and come up with a plan. But we really complement each other. And, sometimes I'm way too soft, and sometimes he can be way too hard. However, there are times when things hit the fan and I get real hard about things. And he comes along and says, hey, we probably need to take a different approach. And that's helpful too. So we really do complement each other in those ways.
No, that's dope. Have you ever felt like giving up doing this? Because I know it gets super hard sometimes. Like, have you ever just like, I can't do this no more?
Oh, yes.
So what keeps you going? Like during those hard times? Yeah,
no, I appreciate that question. Absolutely, yes. I am not superhuman. I would not pretend to be. It does get really, really hard. When things got harder kind of end of last year, and it just like, where is the funding going to come from? This person's complaining, this person we missed an opportunity with, this opportunity was given to an organization that's not serving our people and historically hasn't. Those were hard things. And I was like, why am I doing this? Like, for what? For who? And I was like, for who? Wait a second. I need to go back to my why. Why am I doing this? And I would answer it in two ways. Number one, it's a very spiritual journey for me. I feel called and led to create the opportunities for you and people like you. I feel called and led to do that. And so in the middle of that, I'm going to be protected.
Wow.
My every step is going to be ordered. I'm going to be protected. And so that's why. So I go back to kind of, Lord, is this what you have for me today? Give me my daily bread. Show me, lead me. So funny, my husband's a pastor. So yesterday he preached Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Check it out on embassychristian.org. He's amazing. But it says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Don't lean on your own understanding. You hear that part? People don't hear that part.
Don't lean on your own
Don't lean on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he'll direct your path. He'll make it straight. And I told my husband, I was like, I don't know how much, he knows I love the book of James, and there's certain verses, the book of Daniel, that I go to in the Bible, but it's one of my favorite verses. It's what helps guide me, because if we're going to lean on me, I'm going to fall. I'm going to fail. I'm going to walk away when it gets too hard. But to be re-inspired by, I know that this is beyond me. I know that this is him leading.
It's so beautiful. That is so beautiful.
It's what I do. And that's why I say when the accolades come, it kind of goes beyond me too, because that's not the reason why I'm doing it. Some people do things because they want praise and they need it.
Right.
I don't need that kind of praise. It's nice. I love flowers now. People want to give me flowers. I love pink and purple is my favorite colors. Beyond that though, I go back to my personal why. And again, I know that I've been given so many great opportunities to see things around this world, to be with incredible people around this world, to live in this time and era where AI is upcoming, quantum's upcoming. People are not experiencing the same exact hardships my parents did, but times are hard. Let's believe that. But it's an interesting time, and we live in a place currently here in Denver, in Colorado, that's beautiful. We have incredible representation in our state. I think about Attorney General Phil Weiser, who has been such a great friend to Access Mode and the things that he's done and is doing. There's so many people I could go and name. Wendy Lee, who is here in Colorado, Seth Levine. He's an incredible friend of Access Mode. So it's a great time to be supported by the network of people who are surrounding Access Mode. And so that's a beautiful thing. And so when the times get hard, then I can have the voice of wise counsel that I can go to and say, hey, does this feel like, is this doable? Should we pivot? Should we come all the way back? Should we come out?
Right.
And consistently hearing how important having an Access Mode here is in Colorado and nationally. Having that recognition is so important. Really helps me get really settled in my why.
Wow. I'm hoping that one day we can expect to see Access Mode like in another state too.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. Wink, wink.
Oh, man. So do you have any daily routines that that you do to keep your head in the game?
Oh gosh, yes.
What you do?
I mean, I start my day with acknowledging that it is all the Lord's, not mine, and asking Him to guide my steps. And being thankful for so much, my life, my health, my strength, my family, for God's guidance, all of those things. It's important to root yourself in what's ahead of you for the day, and who's giving you the day, and to have that gratitude. I work out. I have to. It's one of those things I have to do. There are days when I work out for hours. Because there's so much energy happening between my head and that phone or the laptop, and conversations. So much going on that it's important. Yes. So Saturday I went boxing. I hadn't been boxing in quite some time. So yes, that was a way to get some energy out.
That's my main sport.
Is it?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I boxed like the whole time I was in Michigan.
Oh wow! No, I did not know that.
Best thing I was good at.
No, I was at BBP gym over on 30th and Downing and getting it in. So that was cool. I have to move, and spending time with my husband and kids is daily. When they're home, they're working. The kids are working now. I garden. Did I ever give you anything out of my garden? Oh, okay. So this year I have tomatoes, 4 different varieties. I have 3 different varieties of peppers, the basil and sage and romaine and spinach and cucumbers. I have 2 varieties of cucumbers, pickling, greens, 3 actually.
Yeah.
And yellow cucumbers. So yeah, I garden.
I love peppers so much. I might stop by and grab a couple.
Okay.
Because I know they grow a lot.
They do.
Right?
Yeah. You are welcome to. Yeah.
I appreciate it. So what would you say was the biggest lesson that you learned like this year, just while being the CEO of Access Mode?
Yeah. Well, I consider myself an entrepreneur as well. Biggest lesson that I learned for this year. To really focus on my strengths, and where there are opportunities in my skills gap, to really leverage strong people to assist with that. So, like I said, I like to say I'm a high capacity individual, or at least my husband says so when I'm doing so much. But there are areas of the business where I don't know. Also, I would say growing our board this year has become critically important. That is a big lesson learned as well.
So, what advice would you give new entrepreneurs, that people that want to start a new business, other than getting the accelerator? But what's some advice that you would give new entrepreneurs?
Absolutely. I think this is Shakespeare, and then people might be like, what is she talking about? That is not Shakespeare, that's so. To thine own self be true, which is more like know yourself. Really decide, understand, are you resilient? And so that kind of takes us back to the top of the questions we were talking about. Are you resilient? If you are not, really get to know whether you're meant to be an entrepreneur. You might have a great idea. And again, I have seen across my desk, across my email, applying to Access Mode, some good ideas, great ideas even. But when it comes to the rubric and the interview of asking very specific questions that help us determine resilience, are you going to stay in the game, or when you hit that first kind of drop off or that first wall, are you going to throw your hands up? Are you going to short circuit? Do you have the mental fortitude and capacity to run a business? And running a business is not just saying, I have a great idea, let me bring the great idea to fruition. You got to understand finance. You got to understand your cap table. You got to understand legal. You got to understand marketing. You got to understand product. It's a lot, and it pulls on you in multiple different ways. It pulls on the left side of your brain. It pulls on the right side of your brain. You got to understand market research. You got to understand your customer. You got to care about those things. And then you have to bring people alongside you. So if the first thing is really knowing yourself and knowing if you have the capability or capacity to do that, the second thing is partnering with other people to get it done.
Yes.
I fully believe in your model in terms of having a co-founder. It is critical to success. Having a team around you. I'm blessed at Access Mode that we have such an amazing ops marketing person in Arias and Sam with program management. And then we have a host of volunteers and interns. And again, there's Kevin and the board. We have a structure around us to help us grow. That structure is so important. And if you don't work well with people, it might be that you just have an exit plan early. Like I have a great idea. I'm gonna build it to a point. I'm gonna get some traction. Maybe I'm gonna sell it to somebody. Maybe I'm gonna bring somebody else along who's going to buy it from me over time or something like that. But everybody is not meant to be an entrepreneur. And entrepreneurship is more than just having a great idea.
It is. You answered that question perfectly.
Thanks.
So if everything went right this year with Access Mode, like everything went perfect, not even just this year, just overall, if everything went perfect with Access Mode, what does that look like?
Yeah. So it won't, because there's no such thing as perfection on this side of glory. Hallelujah. No.
If, like, what's the dream?
Yeah. Then you go back to your vision statement, right? And the vision statement for Access Mode is to help democratize entrepreneurship for thousands of entrepreneurs that have had access locked out, right? They've been locked out of the ability to really unleash their dreams and their goals. And so it would be thousands of entrepreneurs that are meant to start businesses, share their ideas, get their ideas out in the marketplace. That's what it will look like. And that's why we're building an AI platform to help assist entrepreneurs who are in the corners or who just, are working for someone else and really want to drive something forward, help them just explore. And it's okay. It's, a sandbox, like play in this thing, help you decide, are you meant to do entrepreneurship? Like those are questions that need to be asked. And that's, if everything went perfect, it would be being able to get this AI platform finalized, launched by the end of the year, and then making it available to entrepreneurs in dreaming, right? Like those who are dreaming today would have access to a tool to help them carry that dream forward.
What else new do you have coming up for Access Mode? Like what's new coming out this year? Anything excited other than the AI platform? Do we have anything new coming out? Something we should be excited for?
Well, I'm excited for this week. This week is the first time we are going earlier into our pipeline. We have a hackathon with 11th and 12th graders, helping to introduce them to AI. I mean, I always am excited about the new generation of entrepreneurs, of thinkers, tinkerers, of innovators. And so we're wanting to bring that access closer to them. So we are launching our innovation challenge with them on Thursday and Friday this week. So that's the first time we're doing that. We have a lot of firsts. We'll be at Techstars FounderCon next month up in Boulder, Colorado. And then we'll be on the main stage at Colorado Startup Week this year.
Wow.
Another interview. I'll be interviewed there. I'm going on a delegation trip with the state of Colorado upcoming. And then we have our first Access Mode fundraiser on October 1st. So we will be doing fundraising in a new way. So that's exciting. And then our Entrepreneur Summit that you attended last year, which is great.
It was great.
Will be in November. So we have some folks lined up to come in from out of state to help our entrepreneurs prepare for 2026. Nobody could have been prepared for this 2025. We tried to help, but no one could have predicted what 2025 would have looked like. And so now that we've seen 2025, we want to help our entrepreneurs make sure they're prepared for 2026. New regulations, new changes in AI, new ways to find efficiencies, new ways to partner with different entities. So I look forward to helping our entrepreneurs do that.
Beautiful. Zaneta, I think that's all my questions. I know
Great.
you're a busy lady.
Yeah.
So if you could just tell everybody, cameras there, let everybody know where they can find you, where they can find Access Mode, where we
Yeah.
can find all the updated information or whatever else you want to share.
Absolutely. We're at accessmode.org, accessmode.org. We also can be found on LinkedIn. We have our Access Mode page there, and we'll be launching our Instagram. Our summer intern has put forward the strategy for Instagram, and so they can find us on Instagram when we launch there. That'll be announced on our website and on our LinkedIn page.
Nice. Thank you so much, Zaneta. I really
Yeah,
appreciate this.
you're welcome.
And for everybody that watched this episode, I just want to say thank y'all so much for catching this episode and watching it. If Zaneta, I'm pretty sure she did, but if she inspires you by any way, any shape or form, please reach out to her. Go visit Access Mode. Go check out her new Instagram page whenever they launch that. And please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I hear it really,
Comment, subscribe.
all that good stuff. I hear it really helps. Thank you so much. Until next time, peace.